our focal pose for this morning is going to be the head to knee position. So we're going to do quite a few forward bends. As you know, this is a challenging position. It's a position in which we have to really confront the resistances in the body. And there's a particular sentence that Heinz Grill uses to describe this, the character of this position. He talks about entering into matter. Matter meaning the physical realm of life. And when we do the head to knee position, we really have to confront the tensions that we feel in our legs, in our back, etc. And the idea with this position is that rather than fighting and battling with all these resistances and tensions, we learn to calmly observe. We learn to calmly observe what are we actually holding on to. And it's a massive step if we can find the patience and the courage to do that, because very often we find actually these things start to seem not as solid as we initially thought that they were. And in staying with these tensions, in just looking at them in a very calm way, we can find a new release. We can find a new release of some activity, of some regenerative capacity in the body. So we're going to do various forward bends, and then at the end we'll finish off with the triangle, which is a much more open position in which we expand out and hopefully experience ourselves in a much greater degree of freedom at the end. The main focus is going to be the solar plexus chakra, Manipura chakra here, which is the third center. So would you like to come into a standing position to begin with? Let's take our awareness to this third center right from the start. We can stand in this so-called threefold structure, the firm base with the legs, a feeling of a gentle lift in that region, and take the arms lightly up. So we know in this threefold structure, we find this ordering in the body, which can help a more active growth in that region and more expansive breathing. Take your hands down, just bend forwards. Letting your breath flow. Be aware of any tension in the breath. Coming back up into the standing half moon again. Once again, take your awareness to the solar plexus. Be aware of the breath. Allow a gentle lifting and stretching from that region. And take the hands down by your sides. You're going to come straight into the sun prayer without forcing, but rather remaining aware, remaining in a calm observation of the tensions, both in the body and the breath. Take the hands together. Take the arms gently up, so aware of your breathing. Coming down, just observing any tensions in the body or the breath. Take the right foot back and come up into the half moon, just observing very calmly. Come into the plank. Knees, chest and forehead down. Slide forwards, come up into the cobra without overstraining with the arms, observing the breath. Push into the downward dog, observing the breath. Take the right foot forward, come into a base, and once again, take the arms up, observe the breath. So we always find a calmness of observation. Take the left foot forward, looking down. And in a free movement, come back up into the standing position, observing the breath, allowing it to expand and coming down. Just by observing something, we naturally start to notice the resistances, and then we can find an expansion. Let's observe the breath again, hands together. Take the arms up, observing the breath, and coming forwards. Left foot back, opening up, observe the breath, grow a little bit more, come into the plank, Release chest and forehead down. Slide forwards and open into the cobra. Push back into downward dog, observing the breath. Left foot forward. Again, observe the breath. Open up. And right foot forward. Come up once again and grow. Let the sides expand. And take the hands down. Let's notice how through this process of calmly observing the breath, we can find a natural expansion in the body without forcing. Our aim is that we want to grow from this region here into the standing half moon. Take your feet together and take the arms just gently above the head and observe the breath. Calm, flowing movement of breath. Now, take your awareness to the solar plexus and picture your goal of a natural extension upwards, a lengthening through the spine, through the arms. Full free movement of breath. Just observe it, but allow the expansion, both of the breath and the body. And take the hands down again. Let's do another round of the sun prayer. And this time we're going to grow more out of the solar plexus, but we're really going to allow that to happen without strain through observing our breath. Hands together. Take the arms up so the breath is free. And we can extend upwards out of the solar plexus more actively, but not with strain. Come down. Once again, let's extend through the backs of the legs, looking down towards the ground. Right foot back, good lengthening through the legs. Take the arms up, just observe the breath. Now extend up further out of your middle, right through the spine and the arms, a good lengthening. And then come into the plank. Take the knees down, the chest and the forehead, arching your back and slide along the ground. Curl into the cobra, observe the breath. And see if you can open your chest further forwards. Then come into the downward dog. Breathing. See if you can find a bit more length now through the spine. Then take the right foot forward. Coming down. Take the arms up. Just pause. Observe the breath. Now see if you can stretch even more. Hips down, chest up, right through to the arms. And now come forwards with the left foot, looking down towards the ground. And come right the way up into the standing half moon. Once again, a short pause where you calmly observe the breath. And then grow a little bit more right up into the active stretch. And take the hands down. Let's repeat on the other side. Hands together. Take the arms up. Let the breath flow. Find a little bit more extension from the solar plexus, up through the spine, right up through to the fingertips. Take the hands down and look down towards the ground. Take the left foot back. Observe the breath. Take the arms gently up. And now actively grow a little bit more right through the back of the body. And then come down into the plank. Breath free. Knees down. Arch your back. Chest and forehead down. Slide along the ground. Curl into the cobra. Let the breath flow. And now see if you can open your chest a bit more into a stronger cobra. Push back into downward dog. Breathing. And then a bit more lengthening. Left foot forward. Observing the breath. An active growing now out of the solar plexus. And then take the other foot forward. Come up once again. Free breath. And grow a little bit more. and take the hands down. Let's do one more round of the sun prayer. Now that we've stretched a little bit, we'll do a faster round just to really get the body warm and get the energy flowing. Once again, we want to bring the activity out of the solar plexus, lengthening up through the whole rest of the spine. Take the hands together. Take the arms up, lengthening from the solar plexus right up through. Come down, this time stretch forwards, looking out towards your fingers. Take the hands by your feet, take the right foot back, come up into the half moon, and now actively lengthen through the spine and arms. Take the hands down, plank, knees down, chest and forehead down, slide along the ground, curl into the cobra. Push back into downward dog, a good long stretch. Take the right foot forward. Come right up into the half moon, actively stretching and lengthening. Then take the other foot forward, looking down towards the ground. Come up once again and grow. Breathing, stretching, lengthening. Take the hands down. Hands together. Take the arms up and grow. Take the hands down. Left foot back. Come right up and grow, and lengthen. And then come into the plank. Knees, chest and forehead down. Cobra. Triangle. Left foot forward. Come right the way up and lengthen upwards. And right foot forward. Come up once again and grow. And take the hands down. Let's come to the standing head to knee position. So this will be our first confrontation with the resistances in the body. But our main theme is that we want to observe these without forcing and battling through, but to allow a pause where we can really observe and then find a greater length. Take your feet and your legs together. Got a good firmness in the second center now for the standing head to knee position. And take your arms lightly above your head. Breath flowing. Just be aware of the breath right from the start. Now come down into the forward bend, taking the hands out in front of you, looking ahead. And let's come into this calm observation. Aware of the breath. Aware of the legs. And through this observation, more of a stillness can come, more of an awareness. Come back down, just relax, hanging down, and then swing freely upwards into the standing half moon. Just a little pause. Be aware of the breath. Take your awareness to that solar plexus region and lift up your rib cage a little bit more with a clear action and take the hands down. I'm going to demonstrate the standing head to knee position again. We're going to do it in two stages. The first stage is the calm observation, and in the second stage, I'm going to give a decisive thrust out from the second center forwards. Just watch, see if you can see these two stages. The first stage, I come down like this, and I'm just being aware of the breath, being aware of where the tensions are that might need to be faced. Now the next stage is to create the thought about where I want to go. From the second center, I want to glide out forwards. And make that mental picture, and then the body can come out further into a more active stretch. The breath stays free. Come back down again. Come right the way up. And we'll finish off once again with the standing half moon, which grows more from the third center. So feet together. Take the arms lightly up. Make sure your head is free, so you've got space for this calm observation. Come down into the initial position with the hands on the floor, and just pause to calmly observe. Be aware of the breath. Be aware of the backs of your legs. And now you can create that impulse to come out further from the second center. You can now create a gliding impulse outwards through the spine and the arms, so that the body stretches out further through the direct observation of your body. You find a new way of working through those resistances. Relax down again. And come up in a free swinging movement right the way up, taking the arms up above the head. Let the breath flow. Open up your rib cage a little bit more and take the hands down. So I'd like to come to a few exercises that can help prepare the solar plexus chakra. We'll come to the plow preparation. This is quite a difficult one to do in the morning, so just take it gently. But the idea is with this, that we can get this first feeling. We'll stretch out the back. And we'll just get a feeling for observing the solar plexus chakra. Into this position, just a simple position with the arms above the head, the legs above the head, sorry. Breath flowing. Observing the movement of the breath in the middle of the body, around your rib cage, and around the region where the third center is. By the process of observing, you can notice how little things start to lose. If you're able to, you could take one arm up above your head and then the other arm up above your head as well. And notice how that changes the effect of your breathing. Be aware of the rib cage, the whole central region of the body, Manipura chakra, the third center. And then when you're ready, come back down out of the position. And then come up onto your knees. We'll do another move, which is really a preparatory move, preparation for the camel. And this is again to stimulate and activate this solar plexus region. You can have your knees quite wide apart. And take your arm, one arm, lightly up into the air above you. And once again, observe your breath. Make sure you're not holding on, but the breath is allowed its free movement. Then we can think of an active lift from the rib cage, a dynamic that streams up through the side of the body, through the arms, so that your chest is open. let the breath expand quite naturally. Breath flowing freely. Take the awareness once again to that solar plexus region and stretch actively, growing right through the spine, lifting up the chest, through the arm and back down again. And come down into child's pose. And come movement again a little bit more, this time with each arm in turn. So calm breathing. So we're not forcing, but we're allowing that arm to extend. You can do this, we'll do this together. Big, big circles, lifting from that region, just making big circles through the air, so that we have a feeling of that solar plexus as being the central chakra and the free surrounding space. Big circle right the way around. And the other side. Great big circles. Knees about hip width apart. Let's do one more time on each side. The breath is expansive. The circular movement is expansive. The solar plexus is the center of the activity. Come back down again. Stretching out. And come back up to a sitting position. So finally we'll come to our sitting head to knee positions. We'll start with just one leg straightened, the other leg bent into your thigh. But we're going to do all these different variations with the third center as our central chakra. So I just want to remind you of the main thought that I mentioned at the beginning of the session that applies to the head to knee position. It's the thought of entering into matter. Entering into matter, into physical matter, with all its resistances and tensions, and just remaining in calm observation of this material object of our body, entering into matter. Let's sit with a good upright position. This is our central chakra. Take the arms up. So the arms up. And just come forwards into this line, like this. Central region. Let the breath flow. Remain aware of your solar plexus center. Calm observation. You can observe the breath. You can stretch out a bit more actively from your third center. And come up once again. Straightening up your body. And take the hands, grounding of your legs. Here is your central chakra. Take the arms up. Be aware of your breath right from the start. You're going to come once again into that diagonal position. Streaming outwards. Don't come too far down. Just stay up like this in a good diagonal line. Observing your breath. Come back up once again. Good. Active lifting up. And take the hands down. Okay, I'm going to just demonstrate. I think maybe that's helpful. Then you know what you're going to do beforehand. So we're going to come right the way out this time from this third center. But always observing. I'm going to stretch out a bit more. And eventually take the hands down. But really try to avoid that. Keeping that head free to observe. And observing that stretching happening in the middle of the body and also in the back of your leg. So take your arms up. Come into the diagonal line. And now actively stretch further out from the middle of your back, right the way forwards, and eventually take the hands down. So the spine is forming a line, a long line. The leg is also forming a line. You can observe your breath. You're coming closer, literally, to your own leg. Going into matter. Let's come back up once again. Take the arms up above the head. And take over to the other side. Take the arms up. Come forwards into the diagonal. Lengthening out. Take the hands down. Breath flowing. Just have a little pause. So we can observe the stretch in the back of the leg. The stretch in the back. Observe in a calm way. Going into matter. Coming up again into the sitting position. Take the hands down. Finally, we'll do the same thing with both legs straight, classical head to knee position. So we'll do it in the same way. I won't demonstrate, but we're going to hold it a little bit longer this time. And we'll stay with that thought, entering into matter. Entering into matter, we observe that we confront in our body. Breath flowing freely right from the start. Good firm base with your legs. Take the arms up above the head. And now come forwards into the diagonal. You can start to lengthen through the spine. A little bit further. And a bit further still. And right the way out, growing out from the solar plexus. And then eventually come right the way into the final position, keeping the back lengthened as much as you can, not rounding down. You can look ahead towards your toes. And let's now come into this calm observation. We're going to hold it for always observing the breath. For a longer holding time gives us time to really have that experience that we're entering into matter. We're really getting to know this material body, the resistances in the backs of the legs, the stretches in the back, tensions in the breathing, staying with calm observation. If you feel ready to move a little forward at any time you can, there's no force. A minute, going into the matter. As you become aware of different resistances, there is often the capacity to grow out of them a little bit more, to come further. Stay with Just another 15 seconds now. And then come back out of the position. Stretch right the way up. Breath free. Lifting up the ribcage. Actively stretching up, right up into the openness. When we've really confronted matter, we feel a new kind of release and opening out in freedom. Take your hands down. Let's come up to a standing position and we'll just finish off with the triangle. And take your feet into this wide movement apart, the wide triangle. Look around you into that open space. Take the arms right up high above your head. Breath flowing fully and freely. Be aware of that stretch in your sides. Take your right arm outwards. Firm base with the legs. Stretch from your middle and reach out into that open space beyond. Come back again to the center. Both arms up. Take the other arm down. Lift and come right the way out into the other side. Come back again. Both arms up. The legs are firm. The middle is active and stretches outwards into the openness, gliding through the side and the arm. Come back to the center again. Both arms up. Take the other arm down. Streaming out sideways into the openness. Keep the breath flowing freely. One more time on each side. See if you can extend even further this last time. Having a good firm base with your legs to support you, making sure not to bend the knees. Streaming out into the distance. And back again, arms up. Change sides. Gliding far out into the openness. Free movement of breath. Come back again. Take the arms up. Take the hands down. Roll down and hang forwards. And let the breath in. Then come back up once again. Close your legs. Be aware of your breath. Be aware of the space around you. And we'll finish our session there.